Hi everybody, this is Mike Gerdes from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, and this is Wondrous Dog Yoga, bringing you another love note. Hey, today I want to talk about mindfulness. Now you might say, oh, that's really a heady subject. I've heard all about mindfulness. That means you're supposed to be a real spiritual person and all that. Well, actually, it just means that you're an aware person. Because to be mindful doesn't mean to say that your head's always full of pixie dust and happy times and lollipops and sugar plums and stuff like that. What it means is even when your mind's not full of those things, you are aware of what your mind is full of. Now, myself, for example, sometimes I find my mind is not full of things that are really good to act upon. And the fact that I can be mindful of that helps me to keep my mouth, I won't say shut because I can't say that on this film, but I could say to keep my mouth closed until my consciousness changes. Can you imagine how life would be different if people were aware of where they were and they could adjust their attitudes or choose not to react, but to wait until they were calmed down and choose to respond in a healthy, conscious way? What difference that would make in relationships, what difference that would make in relationships in the entire world. Can you imagine if politicians or senators, congressmen, people across the world dealt that way? It's one thing, and it's understandable to be considerate and know where somebody else is coming. We get that, we understand that. Be aware of what's going on with them, what person's desires are, what their fears are, what their hot buttons are, what their pain buttons are. But are you familiar with what your own are? Are you even familiar when you're going through them? It's sad, but sometimes things happen and we're not even aware of them. Now, sometimes it has to do with the fact that maybe we didn't get enough sleep and we're not acting in a quite normal way, but we don't quite notice that because it seems normal to us, unless we're aware. And sometimes we may not have enough to eat. We might be running a sugar low. Or sometimes maybe we drank maybe a little bit too much intoxicants. And we find our mind reacting to people saying things in a hostile, angry way. You know, if we can be mindful of what's going on in our heads at that moment, we can step back, take a breath, and decide to take a different course of action than reaction. That's it. That's the message for this talk today. Take a different action than reaction. Instead, respond. Or don't respond at all. I guess no response at all is a response. But it's better than reacting out of pain or anger or disappointment or disillusionment. It would be better to act from love. It would be better to act from love with the sincerest desire to see the best in everybody and to care for everybody. And for us to do that, we need to be aware of what's going on within ourselves. Are we aware at that moment if we're loving ourselves? Now, in this very moment, are you loving yourself? If you're loving yourself, that's fabulous, because if you're loving yourself, you're probably able to love everybody else. But if you're feeling grumpy, maybe you're not loving yourself so much, and maybe it would be pretty easy for you to be unloving without intention, simply because you weren't mindful of how you were feeling at the time. Now, this takes practice. And you're not going to get it right overnight. I still work on it. being aware of what my awareness is, being mindful of what's going on, what my thoughts are. I'm not talking about what they should be, what they actually are. Because if we can be aware, we're told that awareness is curative. Well, awareness is curative if we choose to respond in a healthy way, if we care enough. And I think you do. Because Spirit in you has got some great work to do. And collectively, we've got a heaven on earth to be revealed right now. You know, they say all this stuff that's going on, they talk about all the discord that's going on and all that kind of stuff. Truth be known, this is one of the most peaceful times in world history. And also, what we see a lot of going on right now is the worst in people coming up so that it can be dissolved, and the best of people to shine forth. It's called chemicalization. It's happening. And we will win. The light workers will win, but to be a light worker, we need to be mindful. We don't need to stay in the dark side ourselves. We need to be aware of where our minds are at, what we're feeling at the time, and how to respond or not respond. So, remember, rather than react, choose to act in a new way. That's all for tonight. Dr. Maxine will be back with you tomorrow, where she'll give you another love note. Hey, check out our website, cslphilly.org, won't you? It's got a whole list of classes that are coming up, and there's a whole archive of Sunday talks and love talks that she and I have given. It's a nice place to spend some time. cslphilly.org. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.